Hey everybody, I thought I'd come to you and give you some prep for lesson 5 of Logic of English. First of all, I want to start out by saying you guys are doing an amazing job. It's so great to see the kids embrace what we're doing through the Logic of English. Just let me know how you're doing. Make sure you continue to follow up with me as far as any concerns, any questions that you have. I'm always here to help you in as many ways as I can. So let's go through lesson 5 though really quick. The two new sounds that you introduced this week are the two A's. Both AY and AI make the A sound, so it's two-letter A that we may use at the end of an English word, and two-letter A that we may not use at the end of an English word. And of course we review the reason being that this word ends in an I. Your new rule for this week looks like this. It has a bunch of A's and it has two little dots over the top. So in the first lesson, I'm going to introduce the students to the fact that you remember when we do our vowels, our first short sound is A. It's that smiley face over the top. The long sound is a long line. The third sound is called the broad sound, and I really don't know how to help them with my mouth or any sort of clue. But the broad sound, you put two little dots over the top, like the eyes of a smiley face, basically. And so for the A, it's the ah. So we focus on the broad sounds for A, O, and U, because they're the ones that have 3 sounds or more. And then for A, we go into a special, talking about a little bit special because A is a little bit different. So here's your rule. When a word ends in the phonogram A, it often says ah. Now this is not very often, like pa or ma, which none of us really use that anymore, but like yoga, sofa. Now you're going to notice though we really don't say it like that much anymore, right? So it says the schwa a lot, sofa, yoga, but when we enunciate or emphasize it, we're going to say that ah sound. Now here's the one that I think is really helpful though. When an A is followed by a W or before an L, it makes that ah sound. It's very common, so like water or wall, it's making that third sound. So in the second part of the video, I'm going to go over this. Okay, let's go over the words. So I'll really quick go through each list. So if you're doing list A or second grade teachers, you can listen up until number 10 unless you want to continue to go on. So let's start with list A, and if you're list B people, you can move on to that point. So your first word is gray. So you're going to go g, and then A. Make sure they underline that two-letter A. How you're going to differentiate, you're going to ask them to remember that this is the A that you can use at the end of English words. So they should know it's this one. Video is 3 syllables. This is the first 3-syllable word. So I would go video, say it, put it in a sentence, I watched the video, whatever it may be, and then say to spell vid, E-O, and go v-I-d. I don't know what I would do. E and then O, or maybe v-I-d, E-O, something like that. You want to make sure they're putting a line over the top of the E and the O to show that it's a long sound. Bagel is number 3, so you'd say to spell bay-gel, bay-gel, so b-a-g. Bagel. Does that make sense? And the A, you're going to put a line over it because it's saying its name at the end of a syllable. Rain is number 4. N. Use the A, two-letter A that you may not use at the end of words. Sheep, kind of easy. Sh-e-p. Sheep. Plain. Now this is one where it's context, right? So this is the kind of thing like it's a plain shirt or a plane. So O-A, make sure they remember this is the A that you cannot use at the end of words. Train is almost the same. T-er-a-n. I think this needs to be enunciated. A lot of kids are putting a CH, like train, but it's ter-ain. Short is number 8. Sh-or-t. Paint is number 9. P-a-n-t. Make sure they get that n in there. And this is the A that you cannot use at the end of a word. Fish, f-ish. Day, d-a. Use the A that you can use. Male, m-a-o. Use the A that you can't use. Next, n-x-t. man, mm. That's kind of a tricky one. And then your last one, 15, the reason they introduce you to man is because in 15 you're doing human. Okay, so you would say human, they say it back, put it in a sentence, I am a human. Say to spell human, that makes it easier. Human. So your first syllable is you, and then human. They can put a line over the top of this U because it's saying it's long sound because it's at the end of a syllable. Let's go on to list B. Number 1 is detail. So detail. So you've got D-E-T-A-O. Make sure they put a line over the E because it's saying its name at the end of a syllable. Make sure you tell them this A is the A that we may not use at the end of a word. Spray, S-P-R-A, use the A that you can use. Order, or-der, or, you just go like that, or, and then d-er. Haircut, compound word, right? Haircut. A-er, k-ut. This is the A that I cannot use. Ticket, I would do tick-et. Tick-et. Really enunciate that so they hear it's an E. T-I-k-et. Evil. There's a schwa, right? Evil. We don't say evil, but you want to enunciate evil. So when you ask them to say to spell, you say to spell evil. So you stretch out E, v, I, O. Now you don't have to do it on two hands. You can go E, v, I, O. But I like it because it shows that this is one syllable all by itself. Put a line over the top because it's making its name at the end of a syllable. Head. Ed. Finally, in EA, that's making that S sound. So you'd give them the tip. Use the E-A. Braids. Wow, braids. So B-R-A-D. And then it's the Z, it's the Z at the end. Use the A that you can't use. Unit. Say to spell unit. U-N-it. Put a line over the top. Extra. Extra, there's your schwa at the end, extra, extra. So you enunciate and say extra, extra. So you go x-t-r-a. And that's where that A is making the a-a sound. 11, poison. Again, a schwa. So enunciate poison, poison. Or actually in the guide, it's saying go poison, poison. I think it's really up to you. So it would be p-oy, and then z-a-n, and use the z. I don't know, is that too confusing? And then the oy that you cannot use, is that a lot? I guess you choose. Do poison or poison. Or actually, that's the word sun. You could do poison if they know how to spell sun. Anyway, chairs, number 12. Ch-a-er. Use the A that you can't use. Zero. Zero. Z-E-R-O. Try to make sure they put lines over the top of these vowels because they're both saying their name at the end of a syllable. Laptop. Now that's a tricky one, right? Because I don't say that. I say laptop. So it's actually laptop. So enunciate laptop. O-ap-t-up. Laptop. And then computer. 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 So k-m-p-u-t-er. And that U, put a line over because it's saying its name at the end of a syllable. I hope that makes sense. Please know that you can come and ask questions at any time, and I'll see if I have any answers for you. I have been throwing things into a folder called Research on the Logic of English Drive. Not that you probably care at this point, but if you're just looking for something to read or peruse in your spare time that's related to spelling and reading, I just have got to tell you that more and more I find, the more and more it just supports the integration of spelling into reading skills, and how spelling and teaching spelling in an explicit way actually should show huge dividends in the area of reading, because it's teaching them our code, and our code is quite complex. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.